4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us. First at 4, I'm Kimberly Gill in for Karen Drew, who is on assignment this afternoon. This breaking news, first at 4, President Trump marks 100 days in office with a visit to Metro Detroit. And this comes as he's set to sign an executive order scaling back tariffs on the auto industry. The president departed Joint Base Andrews earlier this afternoon and has touched down, we're told, at Selfridge Air National Guard Base, where he's set to speak at any moment. Here's video of him touching down and getting off of the helicopter there. Governor Whitmer is set to attend. We'll bring you the president's remarks live as it happens right here on Local 4. Meanwhile, our Ty Steele joins us live in Warren, where the president is going to speak later tonight. Ty.
Yeah, in just about 2 hours. Good afternoon, Kim. We are live at Macomb Community College, where the first speaker has just jumped onto the stage. All of the supporters here are getting out of their seats and they are cheering. The president calling his first 100 days in office a massive success. But for those here in Michigan with unemployment on the rise, with economic uncertainty on the horizon, and an auto industry that has been rattled by recent tariffs, it's a bit more of a complicated reality. Nonetheless, the president has an opportunity today to talk about recent successes and also help explain his record to a state that helped put him back into the White House.
President Trump's political brand was built in places like Macomb County, where economic fear and cultural battles fueled his rise.
Hello, Michigan. I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible state.
Now he's back, pushing early moves he says are keeping promises. More deportations, lower inflation, and big cuts to federal spending.
It's all coming down. It's all looking good. The tariffs are strong.
But the economy tells a mixed story. Inflation is down a bit, gas prices have dropped, but groceries are still expensive. And Michigan's unemployment rate, 5.5%, is the second highest in the country. And consumer confidence has cratered to pandemic-era lows. The president's new tariffs are shaking up Michigan's auto industry. GM is moving some jobs back to U.S. plants, but layoffs and shutdowns are hitting other companies especially hard. Deportations are up, border crossings have dropped sharply, and immigration arrests are spiking across Michigan, especially around Detroit. In schools, the president is cracking down on diversity programs and banning transgender athletes from women's sports. The University of Michigan has already scrapped its DEI initiatives under federal pressure.
I pledge allegiance. Well, the Pledge of Allegiance is now underway. The president knows how important Michigan truly is to his comeback, and of course, Macomb County was vital to his flipping the state red for his second comeback there. The Pledge of Allegiance is just wrapped up. Macomb County, obviously known as an automotive hub here in Michigan, also a blue-collar and Republican stronghold for the president. The president is very aware of these facts, and also is home to Selfridge Air National Guard Base, where, of course, the president has flown in and out of today. Not only that, but I'm going to toss it back to you as we listen to the national anthem.
Let's respect the anthem. Okay, Ty, we'll check in with you a little bit later. We appreciate it, but we are going to stay in Macomb County right now today because Michigan Democrats held a roundtable ahead of the president's visit. Chair of the Michigan Democratic Party moderated this morning's roundtable in Center Line. Community members shared their stories on how the president's first 100 days have affected their community. A small business owner talked about the impact tariffs could have on their business.
The conversation about putting a tariff in place is already impacting because companies are inflating their prices so that they can cushion the blow for the tariff. So they're passing that potential tariff on to small business owners, and then I have to pass that on to my clients because I just can't swallow a 30-40% increase in goods.
All right, well, meanwhile, a protest in response to President Trump's visit is set to get underway in Macomb County. We have a crew en route there as well, and we'll bring you more on all of this on later editions of Local 4 News. In the meantime, the White House is responding to reports that Amazon is planning to show the cost of President Trump's tariffs. The amount added as a result of tariffs will be displayed right next to each product's total listed price. That's what a person familiar with the plan told Punchbowl News. An Amazon spokesperson, though, said it was never a consideration for the main Amazon site. The Trump administration attacked the reported move by Amazon, with the White House press secretary calling it a, quote, hostile and political act. Our other top story is the weather. Forewarned weather team tracking a frost advisory and thunderstorms moving into Metro Detroit. So let's get right over to forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams. Kim, there's a warning in effect right now.
There's no warning in effect right now. We did have warnings earlier. Those warnings have been allowed to expire, but there were severe thunderstorms, very isolated. Most of you did not see the severe weather, but where it happened, it has caused some trees to be down and some other thunderstorm wind damage. This local storm report coming out of Rochester Hills at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then a few more over into parts of St. Clair County. And we're still watching some showers and storms down to our south. They are not severe, but if you're in Monroe or over into parts of Lenawee County, Ida, and eventually into the city of Monroe, packing a pretty good punch. There's been reports of some hail, and also you can see I do have lightning detector on there, and really, it's not severe, but winds are gusting over 50 miles per hour, just not reaching that 60 mile per hour threshold. And they're starting to pop up here and there. But as I widen the view one more time here so you can see, there's nothing back to the west. So these are out ahead of a cold front that is moving through. And once it does here in the next couple of hours, we are in the clear. So if your kids have sports and things like that, should be good to go. But we'll talk more about it. And we'll talk about that 40 to 50 degree drop in temps overnight tonight in the frost advisory coming up.
Thank you. Testimony continued today in the trial in the death of Patrick Lyoya. Former Grand Rapids police officer Christopher Schur faces a second-degree murder charge. Local 4's Jacqueline Francis joins us from the newsroom with how the prosecution is shaping this case. Jacqueline.
Well, things got heated this afternoon when the prosecution called a use of force expert that the defense did not want the jury to hear from. The former officer, Christopher Schur, sat in the courtroom as his attorney asked the judge to not allow the expert witness. The judge allowed the testimony, and the witness told the jury that a reasonable officer would not have used deadly force against Patrick Lyoya if faced with the same situation.
Was there even a threat?
Not, in my opinion, one that justified a use of deadly force.
Why is that?
In order to justify a use of deadly force, it's generally accepted in policing that there has to be an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm.
The prosecution is getting close to resting its case. The defense will likely be calling their first witnesses as early as tomorrow morning. Live in the newsroom, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Okay, Jacqueline, we appreciate that update, and we will be streaming the trial as it happens on Local 4 Plus and the homepage of clickondetroit.com. Today is sentencing day for a former youth hockey doctor in Oakland County. 68-year-old V. Levrin pleaded no contest to 28 sexual misconduct charges back in March. Prosecutors say he sexually assaulted teen boys he worked with on hockey youth teams. Levrin was sentenced today to 10 to 25 years in prison. In health news tonight, a new study found phthalates might be much worse than previously thought. The study shows the chemicals may have contributed to more than 10% of all deaths from heart disease in 2018. Phthalates can be found in food packaging, clothing, furniture, even children's toys, and exposure can come from breathing or ingesting it. Experts say it's best to use glass containers to store food, use unscented detergent, and fresh fruits are better than canned. You can also wash your hands frequently to remove the chemicals. Tonight, it's win or go home for the Pistons. They take on the New York Knicks tonight at Madison Square Garden in Game 5 of the first round. The Pistons trail in the series 3-1 after a controversial finish, of course, in Game 4 everybody's been talking about. History is not on their side either heading into Game 5. Only 13 teams have overcome being down 3-1 in playoff history, but the Pistons were one of those teams. They did it back in 2003, rallying to beat the Magic in the first round. Tip-off is at 7:30, and Hobie will have a preview of tonight's game coming up on Local 4 News at 5.